IVM.
Oh my, hello everybody.
Are there people here? I don't know.
20 of you. Yes.
Oh, there are people. And somebody has asked, is this the real Rytasha? Yes. Yes, it is.
It is
this
I.
Is
hello,
100%
Abhineet.
fact.
Welcome, everybody. This is the 100th episode of Agla Station Adulthood, which is mine and Ayushi's firstborn, favorite, and golden child.
This is the only child we've actually had any experience raising. And if this is any example to go by, I am not ready for children. I'm simply not. No.
I agree with you. It's another question and another conversation altogether. But
welcome, Tash. So congratulations to the both of us.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that this is something that's actually happened. What, since May 2019? This has been going on?
Yes.
I mean, from when we actually started, when we recorded, when we did the pilot and the tests and everything, actually, if you think about it, we started in May. And now it's Jan 2022.
We've spent almost 3 years actually now doing this, which is pretty crazy.
2 of which were a pandemic.
Yeah, and we haven't recorded in the same room since the last 2 years.
Since March 2020, we haven't been in the same room. It's heartbreaking. But hopefully soon. But anyway, this is now, I need to not look at this comment thing because I get really stressed out about the comments coming in. The same thing happens to me when I do Cyrus's show. I have to turn this off.
Everyone that has logged in, thank you so much for logging in. And we wouldn't be here without you. Honestly, it's you guys that make the show. So we're gonna dive right into it. Hi, Bunny. How are you feeling today? How's it going? 27 days of January 2022 are over. Where you at?
No, that's a lie. I'm in a good place. Because I think if we keep saying that we're in a good place or that we keep a little bit faking it till you make it kind of a thing, that's what I'm going with. I'm just going to constantly channel some level of positive energy or some level of even just deceit towards myself and just be like, no, it's all fine. This isn't a house of cards. Nothing is crumbling. It's all good. And I think that's just my coping mechanism for now because the hangover that I'm carrying from the last 2 years of living through a pandemic is not going anywhere immediately. So I think just kind of, on Saturdays when I go to work hungover, that's the energy I'm taking into Jan.
That's how this whole year feels. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the vibe. How about you?
I'm okay. I think one of the questions you got about general malaise of adulthood, I've been feeling that a lot today itself. I know I started off at a very excited, happy kind of space, and I'm so happy and proud that we're here, but also had a mixture of feelings and quite the cocktail of uncertainty and fear and existential dread was doing its rounds today. So yeah, that's there.
Today you felt existential dread today?
Every day, a little, yes. And today a little more than every day.
I was like, today what happened? But I actually wanted to ask you this question is that we're 100 in, and I know we've been hyping this up in our heads for a while of it's 100, it's 100, it's 100. But what does that 100 mean in terms of just where you and I are at? And I wanted to ask you, where were you? What was your head and heart space when we went to do that demo? When we did the test, that pilot audition episode?
I think I was really excited because I was doing something fun with you. I'd also I think I was finally recovering. By the way, shout out to something finally being a 3-digit episode thing in my life other than Bado Bahu. Because when this started, I was still recovering from the trauma of Bado Bahu. And I mean, it had still been over a year and still I was like, okay, this is an exciting thing. I get to do something new with my life. And the most special thing was that I got to do it with you, but not to get sappy. I think I was in a very overall fearful but excited kind of place. I was
But in general in life,
Personally,
I don't just mean like about
but
like
about the
approaching the
pod,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think in general in life, I was at a kind of secure-ish place, having kind of really started to settle into my love life and my relationship. It was that rosy period when we just moved in together. We passed before the pandemic came, and then again we moved out, all of that. But I really remember that time was when I just explored this nice living in relationship situation for the first time in a proper way. So it was that was, I was feeling very adult, actually, not knowing what the actual adulthood journey would be in the years to come.
I was gonna
Uh,
say, yeah.
yeah, there
But
was a general.
I was just thinking, you had just moved in, and I remember when we were talking about how we're going to structure the show and how much we're going to like volunteer about our lives. I think at that point we were both like, no, 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 we never need to get into anything too specific or too personal. It just needs to be about how adulting is. Like things like finances, and we can talk about community and faith and all these different ways of mental health, but we'll bring other people in to talk about it. We don't need to get too involved, and we don't need to share too much of our own lives. Cut to me using this as a therapy session once a week for the last 2.5 years. I have been more honest on this show than I have been in my real life on some episodes. I think like it's been like admitting to even crying on this show has been monumental in terms of, just being real.
Yeah, I think there's an element of when you are talking about such relatable things, such as life and adulting and struggling or whatever, winning, losing, all of that. Then you cannot escape vulnerability, I guess, because it's such a real part of this journey. And it's been so nice to kind of see you dip your toe and then fully immerse yourself within that.
My feet are in vulnerability now. Like both my
I
feet are
mean,
in the water.
yeah.
They're definitely, which is funny because, you were talking about how you had just come down from Bado and you had started this, like the personal journey for you. When I tested for the pilot, I had just come out
for the pilot.
whatever it was,
I love it. It seems like we're on Schitt's Creek or something, and we're doing a reunion episode. But anyway, go on.
That's kind of what it is. It's like a check-in episode.
Yeah.
When I had come in for that session, I remember
when you tested for the pilot.
Yeah, when you convinced me, like, just come, it'll be fine. I was in such a vulnerable headspace myself in actuality, like the reality of where I was that time. I remember very clearly having just gotten out of something, a little personal life weirdness was happening, was feeling very exposed as a person. And then you came and said, just come and talk about how you're feeling. And I insisted, I was like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to talk. But then that test episode that we did was just you and I being absolutely ridiculous about the reality of how depressing the last 2-3 weeks had been and like how funny it was. And I'm convinced that vulnerability is the reason why the chemistry on that episode clicked and why we landed up having like the option of doing this for 100 episodes. So if you think about it, I have been vulnerable from day one on this show.
Snaps for you.
Snaps for me.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think that's important. It's a good process of evolution that you've had in the last 2-3 years. And me too. I mean, of course, from being a VP mess and crying on every episode almost to now having a grip over my emotions a little bit more.
And you, I have to say, have turned into such a refined crier now, because when you cry on an episode now, you do it in such a controlled way. Like you try not to alarm the guest, and like it's so part of the conversation. But like in the beginning, it was like, I can't deal.
It's too stressful.
Coming down your face. And the guests used to get so freaked out by it. Now they're moved, because usually now the sincerity that you bring when you're crying, you are sincerely moved by what the guest is talking about or what our conversation is. So it's a very real, very adult way of expressing yourself. When you don't have the words, you have tears.
Yeah, this is true.
Right. So not to make this interview format, because I know you hate that, but I do have a list of things that I want to get off our collective chest.
Okay, come on, let's go. Yeah.
So I think we talked about where our headspace was 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago when we started the show. Then we had 50 episodes of the first season and that time we were really following this theme of station, of, like this is this station, this is the next station, next station. And then we hit that 50 mark. We said we need to take a break. We need to reboot, like figure out what it is that we want to bring to the show and like how we want to reinvent it. And the ability to reinvent the format of this kind of leads me to a question is that, do you think that we've kind of reinvented ourselves over the last couple of years? Or do you think it's just been like your baseline still you, or there has been parts of you that you have reinvented?
I wouldn't say I've consciously reinvented anything. No, it's part of the journey. Okay. It seems like not that you're talking about this, but it seems like a transformation question. But it's not.
Oh, I know you don't like those. I don't. It's not a transformation question.
An inner transformation. I feel like doing the pod has changed me.
Yes,
also.
Yes, I think that's kind of maybe the way I was going to. And I'll tell you why I use the word reinvent is because the way we focused asking questions and asking ourselves questions when it came to the pod changed around season 2, right? We were like, hey, we don't have all the answers anymore. We need to bring some qualified people in to talk about whatever it is that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
And what I mean by reinventing myself, specifically when that season shifted, I thought the coolest part was, okay, so if the show has taken this turn of asking other people and embracing other people and allowing other people to enter this conversation, really that's the exact kind of filter to place on life as well. To just be like, allow other people to enter this conversation. You need to stop having it just with yourself. Because as you know, I'm a serial talker, self-talker, like where I'll just therapize myself or work through things myself. And just reinventing that part of your life where you allow, like, listeners and viewers to enter. Like, that was a reinvention.
Yeah, I guess. I think because one of the lessons I've figured of adulthood, even within the journey of doing these 100 episodes, is it does pay to listen. And I think there's something as young adults where we know a lot and we're quicker to speak and want other people to listen to us. Whereas I feel this second season has really allowed us to kind of sit back and listen to the experts and the people who are doing all the amazing things they're doing. And you realize you don't need the last word. This is whether this is the situation you're or anywhere in life.
No, you're right. And that's a huge lesson for people like me who have chronically grown up being people who want the last word or who who feel validation from getting the last word. And now I'm just like, I frankly don't care what the last word is. It's yours to have. Please have at it. I think the other cool thing also from season 2, which I enjoyed, which helped the metaphor of like this parallel of life, right? Like your life and then the pod's life together, was that we got exposed to so many different people outside just the circles that you and I talk into, which often feel like you're talking to the abyss because it's like, what, like, not actually an abyss. It like our social circles almost feel like we're talking to mirrors, right? Because we're all so similar that you're really just going to hear the same version, just a different version of the same thing. Whereas like the range of age, experience, and like qualifications of people that we have spoken to in the last season has just made me realize that, first of all, there is just an endless hundreds of ways to adult. Hundreds.
Oh yeah, and thousands and millions. How to say
millions? Yeah.
Everyone has a unique way of doing it, and for sure. Any bits that really you clung on to from all the amazing conversations we've had with people?
Oh, so many. I was scrolling through our Spotify list just to remind myself all the different people that we spoke to.
Yeah.
And each one, I think there's been a few episodes this year that have made me actually tear up while recording. And that is something that I genuinely do not think I have ever thought that would happen is that talking to strangers would make me cry. Like I can't cry when I'm talking to people that I love. So I had no idea how that has happened. But I don't know. I don't want to say like guest names without remembering all of them.
Fair,
I think
fair.
each one of them has had some crazy good. I've liked them all. I mean, okay, some more than others, sure. But by and large, I've liked them all this season. They've been great.
Yeah,
Did
no,
you have any
absolutely.
did you have any regrets this season? Like something that you wish we could have done a bit more or done a bit less of? Or like, did you feel that way?
No regrets, none ever. But I do wish we had recorded in person. That's
Yeah,
all.
of course. That's
That's
the.
the only thing.
I think sometimes I don't like that we're restricted to just an hour of content.
Oh, I think we have had a few episodes go over, and today I thought, oh my god, it's a free flowing, 100 episodes. But then when they told us there's a timer, I was like, oh damn, it's not a free flowing 1 hour conversation.
But I think the great part of this season was that a lot of times we didn't stop the guests, we didn't stop ourselves from talking. We were just like, hey, if we really want to chat, let's just go for it, which was, I think, the closest we've come to that initial idea that we had of trying to create something in a Joe Rogan universe, which now I know for a fact is a dangerous territory to enter. Like, I forget that this is live. I shouldn't have said that.
That's okay. Come back.
Okay. Wait, good segue is just this thing about this being live.
Yes.
I realized, first of all, we barely edit the other shows. So why were you and I stressed out about this being a live?
No, not that way. Just that you have to, like, I don't know. It's just they can see you right now, which is scary.
Yeah. They can see you right now. I didn't think of it that way. I really didn't think of it that way.
Like they can see you doing everything right now. It's not a normal podcast where I can just like dig my nose.
You don't do that otherwise,
don't do that otherwise also. Yeah. What else, Ayushi? I feel like I want to get into 100 amazing ways of adulting, but we cannot. I wish I could ask you for 100 lessons you've learned, but we cannot.
I'm going to ask you, give me 5.
5 is a lot.
You were about to ask me 100,
Yeah. Why don't we take turns? I'll say one, you say one. I'll say one, you say one more.
Fine. Okay? You start though.
Okay. So I would say my most active adulthood lesson that I'm learning constantly every day is to count to 10 before responding.
Hey man,
if I'm
you're
angry.
Stealing my banner line of this season. React, not respond, not react. That was that was the guiding light for the last season.
Okay, good. So that's what, right?
It's a similar one. It's a similar one.
It's a similar one.
It's similar. It's very similar. Which is something that's we both have worked on a lot, is taking that time to think and assimilate, then just kind of buffer a little bit, marinate in the thought before reacting.
Yeah.
Which has saved us a lot of uncomfortable situations and sticky situations.
And by the way, these uncomfortable situations were happening till about 3-4 months ago. I was still reacting. And only 3 months. Yeah, maybe little less also. I was reacting maybe till November. Then I decided to stop reacting.
I'm trying to think when. No, for me, it was around that September, October time when I was again like in a little bit of a question mark about what I was doing, or like how much I wanted to commit to situations. And in that, I felt that that's where I tested my patience the most and tested this reflex thing the most, being like, every part of you is like, I'm going to say a 900 things. But then I was very, very impressed with how easily a situation dissipated by just putting your phone down and turning its face down, like screen side down, and just being like, I'm done. I will not engage with this in this mood or in this space and this energy. And like 8 out of 10 times situations just resolve themselves because you're like, oh, it's disappeared. It's gone now. I'm done. I don't need to deal with it.
Yeah, okay. I think it is so true. We make a bigger deal out of something than it needs to be. And that's something also I'm reminding myself every day. Ki just take a step back and assess and see the bigger picture. You're focusing on the wrong things. Yeah.
Focusing not on the wrong things. We said this, no, there's no right or wrong thing to focus on. It was kind of like how long you focus on something or how long you allow yourself to think about something until it starts to consume you, then that's when it
Yeah.
starts becoming. Because we were just saying that, remember, we said it's okay to feel any of the emotions. It's not really like a right or wrong thing, but it's kind of just how much time you invest in those emotions that makes it right, wrong, black, white, gray, that, right? Isn't that something that we talked about? I vaguely remember.
Yeah, we did. And that's actually the way you deal because you give yourself X amount of time to feel bad about something. And I wish that I could do the same, but it's not that linear for me. So
Yeah, that's
I
true.
know. Yeah, I know. That's something that I'm working on every day. Like today also, just this general feeling of feeling shitty and what even is the point of everything.
Are you having an existential crisis day?
Yeah, because now I feel as much as we can say that I have a grip over being a grown up, yeah, I do. In what
Hmm.
sense? I'm not upset anymore by the fact that I need to work, I need to earn money, I need to pay taxes, I need to be responsible.
That
Okay,
was upsetting you.
I
Oh
think
my
it
God.
was. Yeah, it is upsetting. You have to like toil and trouble every day. But I don't. I mean, I don't have to do that. So I'm no longer upset by that, all the things about adulting that is annoying. No, I'm not upset by responsibility anymore. Let me just
Oh,
rephrase.
that's a good one. That's good.
Yeah,
Is that one of your top five, like
maybe.
adulthood kind of takeaways?
Maybe. Yeah.
You're not upset by responsibility anymore.
No, because now I've learned to accept it and view it as a part of life. And
Do
the
you?
duties of humanhood. Humanhood, not womanhood. Or,
That's a whole other hood.
hmm.
The line, the hood of womanhood behind adulthood. But I don't even want to get into that. Okay, so you've embraced responsibility. No, not embraced. You are okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not upset by it. It doesn't
You're
bother
not
me. It
upset.
doesn't trigger me.
What still triggers you
Oh man, kind
in
of
an
feeling
adulthood way?
uncertainty because there is no rule book, there is no roadmap, there is no higher power telling me right now, okay, this is what you should be doing with your life. The
Hmm.
paths that lie ahead of me today, for example, do I go and study further? Do I move to another country? Do I do a writing course here and start creating my own work? Do I get married to Rajiv and settle down? Or do I move out on my own? We still live apart and I'm doing my own thing. He's doing his own thing. Do I live with my parents and I take care of them? Do I spend more time with my grandmother? I just have all of these concerns and questions, and the more people you let into your circle, the more people that you love, the more responsibility you have. And then there's uncertainty. So maybe I'm still upset by responsibility. No, I'm not. Kidding. I am
Um,
afraid of the uncertainty. Uncertainty does trigger me.
okay, well, here's the thing I'll tell you certainly then. I don't think you
Hmm.
should study more. I don't think you should leave the country. I do think you should start writing, start making more content so we can work on that together. Marrying Rajiv, I think that could be an organic progression for your relationship, but there's no rush right now as such.
Correct. Correct.
If you guys live separately and flourish independently as well as together, that's fine. Spending time with your parents, you know that you enjoy that, but you just have to put your ego on the back burner when you're doing that. So as long as we have
Yeah.
a grip on that, like 8 out of 10 times, it should be okay. I think you've made the decision to spend more time with your grandmother. So work on that. Keep it at the forefront of your list of priorities every couple months. So you can check in once a quarter, which I think is really good because you enjoy being there. And yeah, there, I fixed it. I fixed you. It's done.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm moved. I'm moved.
Mainly, it
Hmm.
was I just wanted to let you know that you can't move countries.
You know, that's the thing. These selfish reasons you've told me, that also scares me. Like, are my friends just not supporting my wildest dreams because they want me near them?
Is that so wrong?
No. I don't know how to have a community and also to flourish alone. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
That'll be the theme for next season.
Maybe.
Can any of us truly ever be alone? No, I can't. I don't even care to pretend that is something that I can do or could do or want to do.
Yeah, fair.
That's another thing, no? Like in this list of 5, like self-assuredness, like self-confidence, like a level of security, that's improved, I think. That has gotten better.
I think it's the sense of self that's become stronger, no?
Yes,
Just
and
knowing
but
who
you're
you
okay
are.
with what this self is.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
not trying to edit it because like it'll get more likes.
Yeah.
You are just this person, and you are very fearlessly yourself on the internet, which is the only place that you have to prove yourself. Duh. Doesn't matter what your friends and family think. What do your followers think?
That's a good one.
I think that's a really good one, is that now when you walk into a place, you walk into a room, whether it's a virtual room or a in-person room, the fact that you don't like fidget or look for a mirror or immediately look for that comfort person, or just there's not like cold panic in your heart. I think those are like progressive steps to being like, no, but I'm okay with me entering the room as this version, looking
alone,
like this, being
whoever I
this
am.
person,
Yes,
alone, whoever this
absolutely.
is. It's okay. It is not just enough. It is more than enough.
More
And that's
than,
not
yeah.
bumper sticker logic. That's truly just being like, only when you think that you're enough are you going to be able to be who you are, right? Like otherwise it's a disservice to yourself. And all the times you've curated your personality. That's another thing. Like, I mean, if you, I don't know, I'll lose this thought, so I'm not going to follow.
No. But it's interesting you touch upon curating a personality, because I think a large part of your early 20s are spent kind of trying to curate this adult version of your personality.
Okay, you're articulating this. Go with it.
When what happens, or what I have experienced happening, is to now in the last maybe 3 years, I'm unlearning the curation that I only had put up. So first there's the curatedness, and then underneath that is the childhood experiences, family background, all of your relationships affecting who you are, schooling, college, all of those things kind of shaping you. Many layers to peel back to actually discover or learn about who you truly are without everything that has shaped you, maybe. If we were to really strip away and get to the bottom of this, that without this, without
Conditioning.
without my birthplace or my parents or the school I went to or the
But then,
first job I had, who am I truly as a human being also beneath the societized version of human that you are?
But I think that's a really difficult question. And I don't think that I'm prepared to answer it yet. I don't think that I'm ready. I don't even know how you get to that baseline, to such a baseline where you've been able to take all the peels out. Like, hear me out on this. It's kind of like, I enjoy a certain level of sarcasm or banter or like diction or cadence in my speech because of the kind of fiction books I read growing up. And I enjoy this part of my personality because I think it's fun to have fun with words and to be able to kind of dance around with the way your vocabulary goes. But that's only because I was given a lot of these fiction books as a kid to read. And it's a huge part of who I am. It's a huge part of how I speak. But if I hadn't been given those books, I don't know whether I would have just naturally had like affinity to the, chat. So how do you know? How do you know that that's whether? And then the second question I ask myself is that even a layer I want to peel away?
Yeah, fair. I have a problem also. No, so it's like each one's messed up brain is turning against oneself, making you think all kinds of things.
Yeah, but I think that curation thought where we were initially is true, is that we spend a lot of our early 20s trying to build things based on like what is being sold to us, right? Not, and I don't mean just like materially sold to you, like what is sold to you as a good quality, or what is sold to you as a successful business quality, what is sold to you as an educative quality. Like we keep purchasing these little things and curating like this picture or this image of like, oh, it should look like this, it should have this, it should have this. And what you'll end up doing is at some point you lose what the scaffolding was. And now it's just a really ugly building built on like kind of weird facade, weird glasses. So, and I think then in the second half of your 20s, at late 20s, you're kind of pulling out the stuff that you don't need anymore. And you're like,
Yeah.
let me see what's underneath there. And yeah.
I think also it's what I'm just quickly going to get this thought in before we go in for a break. But as I've experienced growing older, from expecting myself to be good and perfect and expecting things to be good and perfect, I'm more accepting about the shadow self or the darker side of human life, of the complexity of being an adult. I think accepting that darkness also is a part of the journey and maybe appreciating the light more, seeing it more. It all goes together.
No, it does. And I also think one thing that we get stuck on in our generation of, if you're in your 20s and 30s right now, something that it keeps coming to us is that we as a group of individuals talk about ourselves and our feelings a lot. And we can't seem to stop talking about ourselves and what we're going through and what that feels like and what that means and what that comes from and where is this stemming from.
Attacked.
I'm attacking myself as well, right? I think it's because, and then we have, and I'm not blaming our parents or the generation above us. I'm just saying that they didn't have the same allowances that we have either given ourselves, taken, or earned, whatever you want to say. So we want to use them all because we're like, I have the opportunity and the ability to share and verbally work through my shit as opposed to repressing it and it coming out in slightly unmanageable ways. So it's okay if you are branded as someone that you talk about your problems and yourself like a lot. It's okay. This is the way that you're working through it. Just,
And I really think that this whole relatability thing is too real. The more we talk, the more we realize everyone else is probably in this shitty storm with you.
Where do you think memes come from?
Exactly. And why do you think this podcast is such a roaring success?
It's because we've just been 100 hours plus been like, we don't know. But it's okay. Like, we're doing fine though. Like, we're okay. We should take a break,
guys.
though.
Yeah, let's go for a quickie.
And we'll take questions.
Yes.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, Mudit Dandwate, CEO and co-founder of Dozy, tells Cyrus how he built his health tech company and survived a crocodile attack. On The Longest Constitution, Priya tells us about the history of the rights of the disabled. This started in the 1970s with the Organization of the Blind. On a show about crypto, Rohan is joined by Kash Danda, who's a founding member at Superteam DAO. They discuss whether Solana is an Ethereum killer as is commonly believed in this space. On Press Decode, Sarah and Vagda discuss the acquittal of Bishop Franco Mulakkal and whether the beautification of Purani Delhi strips it of its charm. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav tells us the surprising story of how money orders, Dehradun, and the transatlantic slave trade are all connected. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms you're listening to us on. And also remember, you can check out a lot of our stuff on YouTube. Go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube and you'll get a list of all the various channels that we do have. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and CoinSwitch Kuber. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Welcome back.
How's it going?
It's going good. Just going through some of the questions we've got.
Where are they? I'm confused. Aha! Are we supposed to read this one here? Adore this podcast and how open are you to conversations? Hugs from Pakistan. Hi, Raheel. Hugs to you too.
Thank you so much for listening. It's interesting. It all felt like fate because I didn't choose the podcast. It chose me. It chose me. It chose me and then I chose Ayushi and then it chose us both back. That's exactly how it happened. I think it strips away the stress of scripting, of video, of putting up any filters. And you can get to the substance quicker and just be realer, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
You go?
Oh. I don't mind the video format because I think it gives listeners or viewers a lot more context to Tash and I as people and as friends, because I know now if you've been listening to the show, everyone knows that we are and have been best friends for a really, really, really long time. but there's an energy that we have that is very physical as well. And if we were in the studio together, it would be chaos. But I like it. I like having video. I like seeing Tash, and I like that you guys get to see both of us like this, doing this. It works.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't mind just audio also because I don't have to bother about how I'm looking. But video is good because it helps me to see Ayushi. Yeah.
Yeah, I've stopped caring about that look.
That's
Today, lipstick has happened. But
I mean, today it's 100 episodes. I have badly straightened my hair.
Okay.
Oh, Madhuri, thank you.
We feel less alone because people like you listen to the show. Because otherwise, we're just like we're talking into a void. Somebody talk back to us. So when you guys say this and you say that you enjoy and you relate, it helps us a lot.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you all. These are all sweet comments.
Really. I am.
She is.
The internet can't stop me. Ooh.
I mean, I basically became very public about my relationship only on the podcast. Nowhere else, on no other medium have I ever spoken about it. And it happened really accidentally. Yeah.
I accidentally shared that I used to have a crush on someone when I was younger in school. And then that person happened to listen to it or heard from someone who had listened to it. And I was like, why? That was slightly embarrassing. But I mean, it led to nothing as per usual with most of my revelations about my personal life. But yeah, that was embarrassing.
Next.
What are my choices? If you're feeling shit, honestly, comfort shows. The same, like a rerun of something very basic, something where you don't have to think too much. Stakes need to be incredibly low,
Yeah, I go back to Modern Family quite a bit sometimes. I
used to go back to The Office a lot. Throughout the pandemic, I went to The Office a lot.
I mean, yeah. Next.
Can you have someone on the podcast talk about the Indian immigrant experience, especially as him?
Oh, yeah, maybe we should read out the questions for our audio listeners. We would love to actually have someone come and speak about the Indian immigrant experience. I think it's important to talk about. I don't have enough.
I guess we don't. I guess we don't always consider the Indians abroad, Indians moving, immigrating experience a lot because we keep putting that as an experience behind. Like we put that phase of our lives behind us where we're done there. And now we're very committed to being in this physical space of India. So you're right, though. We should talk about it. We will talk about it.
It was great, Sumit. Somebody's asked me about my experience working in CPR with the other comedians. It was honestly great. I was very lucky to get to be a part of it and be in a room with all those amazing people. They're all so funny, really. It just made me laugh. I have laughed so much for those few weeks.
But she called me every single
day. And cried
ran
also.
Her jokes past me and cried and laughed as well. So, this is about me as well.
Oh, yay. Thank you, Sadhika, for getting your brother hooked onto our show. Tell all your friends. Now, I do have some questions over here from my AMA, which I put up on my story also today.
Yeah.
Someone's asked how to deal with emotional emptiness at this age.
Oh. Emotional emptiness, like you're jaded with emotions or you just can't find it in yourself to even feel anymore?
Yeah, I guess a kind of desensitized numbness maybe, or feeling tired and emotionally exhausted. I don't know. It could be either.
I think the hope is that it's a wave and that it'll pass.
Yeah,
or it's like a roller coaster and this is like a low and you'll come.
That too for sure. As all our guests have said it, and we've realized also, it gets better with time. Like all our older guests have told us.
I know. It's like the most best advice.
Yeah. But also I would say more practically, if you're feeling emotionally empty, then I think that's when art comes into the picture. That's why art was created. Watch movies, watch shows, immerse yourself in a book, read, write.
Listen to music.
Music, absolutely.
I think, and honestly, not to sound like overly emotional or like a little bit of a sap kind of a thing, but sometimes really good poetry can evoke a lot of emotions. And really all you want to do is kickstart feeling the emotions, right? then life will make you feel a host of things. But it just to kickstart, I think you're right. Art is a great way to start feeling again.
Yeah. I really liked this question, which Tasha, my friend, asked. But it's interesting. She says, I've started to think of myself as my own child. Is that normal? And I found this interesting because somewhere I'm like, you have to, as an adult, treat yourself as your own child because you have to be responsible for yourself.
This is, first of all,
She's
Tasha,
cracked
you want to
it.
take over? You want to take over our show because this is it. This is the whole show. I think it's great. I think that's great, and I'm going to start doing that myself.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's normal or not, but it sounds like great advice and a good way to deal with it.
It's like that meme about being a plant, right? I just need a little sunlight. I need some water. I need some fresh air, and I'll grow. But this is true. I think if you treat yourself like a small child, and what does a small child need to thrive, then maybe that's what we need.
Someone's also asked, when do we truly become an adult? I still feel like a child, learning more now than I did before as an actual child.
I don't think you ever get to like a X means adult.
Yeah, I think legally on paper now, if you've crossed 21, you're an adult. But
in the eyes of society, yes, sure.
Yes.
And in the eyes of the law, which is important.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure even our parents sometimes don't feel like they know, right? Because they've never been 60 before. 60 is new for them. 61 will be new, 62, 60, whatever that age is. And I know that sounds like a very stupid thing to say, but life is the longest thing you're ever going to experience. And how old you are now is the oldest you've ever been. So you only know that much. As you keep going, you'll learn more and maybe you'll get better at it or you'll get worse. But I don't think there's a X means adult.
Yeah, fair. Now, an interesting question, which are very relatable to me. Do all baby adults procrastinate living? Like delay beginning their life, lol, is what they've asked.
Yeah.
And I feel like, it is a pretty, unless of course, there's some external situation where you have to, something in your life forces you to grow up faster and you have to provide or do any of that stuff. I think for most of us, this like always after college, you feel that, it's happening. I'm day by day, I have to show up, I have to adult, I have to be good at everything and doing everything and taking care of everyone and myself. But no.
I think the person who asked this question, what I feel is also that definitely in the first part of my early 20s, definitely pushed it off as much as I could. Shouldering responsibility or that taking on whatever you're supposed to as an adult. I think procrastinating was middle name. Did it every day when it came to everything. Tried to take the easy way out 8 out of 10 times. Yes to admitting to all of those so-called failures or not. Or however you want to call them.
Normal.
Yeah. But it's very normal to procrastinate your existence also.
Yeah. Okay, and we have some more questions coming into the chat here. How does one deal with parents growing old? No one prepares you for that. I know. It is like a hot topic actually amongst our friends also right now. Because I think our parents are approaching the 60s club soon.
I think the best you can do is just do the best that you can do. That's it. Because let me rephrase this. Part of me feels that if my kids at 60, if I'm 60 and I have kids and they tell me, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that and you should eat this less and eat more, I'd slap them on the back of my hand.
I'd be pissed, yeah.
Get out of my house, first of all. Why are you still here? Get out. I have lived. But I think the honest, more painful answer is more like, I don't know, they're 60, they're 50, they're 70, they're 80, whatever it is. They're on a path already. Unless you can make some massive course corrections by forcing them or talking to them, I don't think these kind of things are in our control. And the more I think the more you accept that, the better it is, right?
Absolutely. And to keep, and I guess to make them happy. And if that means to work on yourself and change the way you react and deal with them, then that is it. That is the work we have to do. Absolutely. Yeah. Raheel has asked, on the topic of art, can you share a movie and song that has moved you last or this year? I'm going to share a movie real quick, and I just watched it. Tick Tick Boom on Netflix.
I want to watch that.
And it
tonight.
has moved me big time because I think it speaks about him turning 30. That's it. The whole movie is based in that 1 week of time when he's turning 30 and the pressure he kind of puts on himself to be successful, all of that. But I think what the movie did was it just moved me in a big way that there is to dream and to just watch it. And we should not give up on our dreams. And I think as we grow older, we kind of forget to dream, and we must not do that also.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, man,
What
this
about-
is a dream that we had. We dreamed
Yeah.
as young kids to do something
We dreamt,
together.
we did, yes.
Did I say dreamed? We dreamt.
You said both are fine, I guess. But Aniket Dharamshi, hey,
He's a friend.
asking questions and all. Thank you. How do you deal with
How do you deal
time?
with time as an adult? You know, Aniket, this existential physics question of yours, he just
I'm
loves
so
to
bad
ask.
at it. I'm bad at dealing with time. I literally cannot. It
You
hurts
know,
me.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I can safely say 50% of succeeding at adulthood is time management.
Yeah.
That is
So that's an
Okay.
important lesson. I think we can all go on today from henceforth being better time managementments.
can't even say it.
I cannot. I hate it. How important is
How
keeping in
important-
touch with hobbies amongst all the adulting?
Listen, I'm going to take this question. I am a serial hobbyer. I love
agree.
hobbies. I stack my weekends to the point of exhaustion. I need hobbies. I think hobbies are the thing that keep you engaged, distracted, challenged. And I'm saying challenged because I like to pick up a new thing. But curious, yes, it's really about curiosity. It's like to constantly feel like you don't know something and try to learn something, to master something, to get better at something. That's not your work or your friends or your personal life.
I mean, Ayushi is very good at hobbies. It's important. I'm not, but we can all learn.
But I like having a hobby that's not in my friends group or that's not part of my work.
Yes.
It's good. It's good for my brain. What's next?
I think that's
No,
who has
I
been
can't
your
answer
favorite
this.
guest? That's such a difficult one, it's too difficult.
This season, though, I will say I have found love and joy in every single episode. I can say that all our full episodes have been lovely. And we've been so lucky to have so many of our friends on this season because we realize that our friends are so cool and they do such cool things.
Yeah, and you should totally listen to all of them.
And you tell me what's your favorite.
I can't choose one person. They
Not
might
you.
feel
I'm
bad.
telling Surohini.
Oh,
I'm telling her.
Yes,
not you.
yes. Ashton, yay! Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, Ashton. Listen to Ashton's podcast as well.
The habit coach.
To be honest, he's really the person who is an adult.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it. He tells you in short, quick snippets.
Yeah. Oh man, nope. Don't know how to break up with a friend because Ansha has asked, how have you ever broken up with a friend and is there any right or wrong way to do so? I think maybe
I don't think either of us have actively broken up with a friend. I think the course of life has made us move away from certain people and certain friends, and we haven't pursued those anymore. Being okay with that is part of it. But I don't know. I saw this question and I panicked immediately. I was like, imagine if Rytasha ever breaks up with me. I wouldn't let you. I'd murder you. Like I would hunt you down. But it's okay. You can walk away from a friend. It's not the end of the world.
I agree. Absolutely.
The episode, I will say, you should listen to our episode with Melissa.
About friends, yes.
About friends, and that was really good, and I think you might find something there.
Marissa's episode was really good. I remember. Yes. Next, any other questions, or should we wrap it up? I know we have to wrap up.
No, but
shortly.
I want to answer some questions. I like these questions. It's quite fun.
Oh, we're feeling.
I'm feeling much better after talking to Tash, which usually happens after every episode. There's so many times that you and I have come into the episode with a little bit of negative energy because the day has done that to us. And 90% of the time we leave the episode feeling like, oh, that's all I needed. I just needed to chat.
I love chatting with you. Let me check here.
What is this? What is this khad that you're doing?
Sorry, I was looking for questions. Some people, okay, you know what? Also, this very obvious question someone has asked, and I think it's an important question also because we never talk about it. But she says she's 27 and still a virgin. Is that okay? I mean, of course it is, dude. You do you. You live at your own pace and time. Do whatever you want. It's totally fine.
Hey, it's so fine. Don't ask
Yeah.
yourself that question.
Of course. There
You're
are 10,000
so
other things in
okay.
this world. Yeah.
And by the way, you will find joy in moving past this milestone as well. And I wish you a beautiful experience in that. But it's not going to define anything. It really doesn't.
And the same person has said, feels like everyone is sorted. It's only me struggling personally and professionally. I don't think that's the truth, because everyone is struggling. They may not be very open about their struggles. You may not know exactly what's happening in everyone's personal and professional life. Trust me, there is so much.
And you don't have an expiry date. Like there's no like you have to do it by now or that you get moved off the shelf. It doesn't work like that. And if you feel that on some days, that's okay. I feel it too. I really do. But you are non-perishable in like the longevity of how you look at things and achievements and milestones. So it'll happen for you when it's the right either person or right professional calling. There's no time limit on this.
Yeah. And one last question, which I really like. Do you notice truth looking and feeling different in adulthood?
Because there isn't truth.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as the truth.
What nonsense. But this is one perspective, I suppose.
What is truth? What's true to you doesn't have to be true to me. And that doesn't make either of our versions of the truth any less valid. Adulthood is accepting that your life is going to be
there are many
very
versions.
today. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, that's it. That's where the truth is and feels and looks different because there are multiple versions. She's absolutely right, ladies and everyone else.
I like that we give ladies that thing first. We're like, no, you are allowed. Everyone else.
Nah. Okay, then I think this kind of brings us to wrap up today's session. Unless there's something else you want to chat about. I know you don't want to leave and I don't want to leave you, but all good things. I know,
because I have to go and help with dinner now. See, I'm procrastinating my adult responsibility of dinner.
See, don't worry. You go do that. I'm also starving. It's hunger times. But we wanted to
some parting thoughts, Dash. Give some wrap-up thoughts, like just nicely, like how we ask each other, how we ask our guests. 5 tips. But don't give 5, just give 1. Just like a closing thought. And then, just do like that.
I'm just going to remind myself and whoever needs it to breathe in, breathe out, and be honest and show up for myself. Or be at least honest with myself if I'm not showing up for myself.
That's good. Honesty.
Yeah. Top tips from you?
I mean, I like yours as well. I would have gone with that. But I think just empathy for yourself as well as everyone around you. And the difference between empathy and sympathy is just going to make a world of difference. And I think that's something that I had a problem with, right? Because I used to feel so irritated with myself and other people for constantly indulging in themselves and their feelings and all of that. And I realized that was because you're trying to constantly sympathize with yourself. But no, when you empathy towards a situation, towards putting yourself in that person's shoes or that situation for a minute and see how you will respond and not react. And that's really something that I'm working on right now. And I hope that I'm consistent with it. Consistency. Adulthood is about consistency.
It is a vast sea of consistency.
Adulthood is about consistency, man. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So thank you all. We are so happy to be here, and thank you all for being here. We will be taking a break. This is the end of season 2 of your favorite podcast. I don't know what the next season holds, but Ayushi?
Yeah, we try to start something this season of saying this at the end of every episode, and I think I really mean it today more than most days. Thank you so much for the privilege of your time so far.
Yes.
It's been 100 hours plus of content, and we've been allowed to exist on the internet. And I like that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you can like and share this stream. It's going to be on YouTube forever. So please send it to whoever missed it, or if you want to watch it again. Whenever you need a companion, we'll be right there. Write into us at aglastationadulthood@gmail.com.
Really, please write. I love it. I adore it.
And maybe we can all come up with something and see where the show goes next with all of your inputs.
Yeah, if you have ideas of how you like the show to go, please write to us. We are happy to take your comments. Not because we don't have anything else. We totally have things planned.
We care about you guys. This is now a community pod.
It is. It is a crowdsourcing. I use this to crowdsource friends. Now I'm using it to crowdsource like Vibe girls, so it's fine. Okay, Tash. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being my bestie and hostie. Love you.
I love you.
Love fighting?
We've got you covered.
Check out our show, The Fighting Goat, where we, the voices of the internet, Arjun Chipalkatti and Somesh Kamra, bring to you crazy weekly action on your favorite combat show, The Fighting Goat.
Be it commentary, breakdown, predictions, analysis of styles and techniques.
And of course, your round of favorite fighters.
You can listen to us every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, and all major podcast streaming platforms.
Inflation, fiscal deficit, GDP, MSP, NPA, equity market वगैरह वगैरह। दोस्तों, हमने सारे शब्द टीवी या अखबार में जरूर देखे होंगे या फिर सुने होंगे, पर हम में से कितने लोग हैं जो ये जानते हैं कि इन सब का सीधा प्रभाव पड़ता है हमारी सैलरी पर, हमारे इंक्रीमेंट पर और कमबख्त हमारे खर्चों पर। दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है अभिनव त्रिवेदी और मैं बात कर रहा हूँ इक्का दुक्का इकोनॉमी पॉडकास्ट से, जहाँ पे इस तरह के इकोनॉमिक और फाइनेंशियल टर्म्स को मैं जोड़ूंगा सीधा आपकी जेब से। हर मंगलवार एक नया एपिसोड सुने IVM पॉडकास्ट की वेबसाइट, ऐप या फिर किसी भी अन्य पॉडकास्ट प्लेटफॉर्म पर।